I am literally the cheapest person I know.
You guys are cheap. Thank you for noticing. Thank you.
I have made an art form out of simplifying and saving money. I joke with my kids that full price is the F word in this house. And I know every man and his dog out there is telling you to get a budget and get out of debt. And those are a great starting point. But if you are like me, you need a little more than that. You need to know what the practical steps are to get control of your finances. I actually looked up our income with the Australian Tax Office, and it blew my mind to find out that we are considered low income earners. So that means that every week I am still stretching pennies, and although we are now 100% consumer debt free, we have no car loans, we have no credit cards, we have no phone plans, no afterpay, no nothing, I have still made about every bad financial decision you can. I've had terrible car loans. I have had gym memberships with exorbitant fees. We have done the no interest credit cards, you name it. But for about the last 10 years, we have had no consumer debt. And there were some things that we did that didn't just get us out of debt or keep us on a budget, but actually changed my mind and simplified the way that I thought about money, and these are them. If I had to pick one thing that changed my financial outlook the most, it would be sinking funds, particularly if you are stuck in this rut of living paycheck to paycheck. And this was something that took me a little while to wrap my head around. It always seemed too hard because there was another big bill and another big bill, and we could never seem to get ahead. But sinking funds is the key. So what we have is we have our main bank account where everything goes in and out, and then we have separate bank accounts where we have sinking funds. We have one for Christmas and birthdays. We have one for car maintenance, repairs, registration, insurance. That's all lumped together. We have one for utilities, so that's like our power, water, and gas. And what we do is we've worked out what those bills are over the course of the year. Then when we get paid each month, but you can do it however you get paid, you just put that amount into your sinking fund. If you are really struggling and living paycheck to paycheck, it is a little bit hard to get this started, but it's really, once you get your head around it, it's not complicated at all. So what you need to do if you are just getting started is work out all of the bills and when they're due, and work out the time between now and then. So if your registration and your car insurance is due in 6 months' time, you just divide it by however many months or weeks are between then and now. You put that amount of money away. Now, I used to not do this because I was like, well, I don't know the exact amount my power is going to be. And it's like, duh, Sarah, it's okay. Because you know what? It's way easier to find $20 extra from somewhere else if you've got your sinking fund than to try and find $600 to cover the whole bill. So you can set these sinking funds up for whatever bills you have. So you might have one for kids' sport or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Pet supplies, pet insurance, you can lump all of that together. Whatever those recurring bills are that you know are coming or that you might need to have money set aside for, set them up, put them away. You won't have to think about it. And when the bill comes, the feeling that you already have all of the money you need there is priceless. So the next tip I have for you is to use cash. Now, let me tell you, I was totally against cash. I could give you 99 reasons why I didn't need to use it. And now that I do, I totally see why it's a game changer. So if you are a visual person like me, I cannot even begin to explain how much simpler and easier it is using cash. One of the big reasons I was like totally against it was I was like, well, sometimes I like to do click and collect for my groceries. I've already got a heap of my bills automated. But what I have found is that using a cash hybrid system is the best way for me. So what I do is if I'm going to do a click and collect on groceries, I will order that, I will find out how much it is, and then I will get the remainder of my grocery budget out in cash. I also use it for other variable spending, things like our entertainment budget, for those cups of coffee, for ice creams for my kids, for going and paying for museum fees. That all comes out of our entertainment budget. And then I can see exactly how much I have. I can keep carrying it over if we don't use it all. And for me, it has been just the biggest help because I can see everything in front of me. It doesn't matter if I need to go to the shop several times in the course of a week because that's just how it works out for me. As long as I'm not overspending the cash that I have on me, I know I'm always going to stay on budget. The way that I have done this is by buying this. I got it off Amazon. I'll link it for you down below. It was super cheap. I think it was like $6, but it has a little section for groceries. I have one for entertainment. I have one for clothing. I haven't actually filled that for this week yet, but this is how I stay on track. I'm not that interested in seeing exactly where all of my money goes. As long as I'm staying on budget, this keeps everything in control. I know what belongs where, and then everything else, all of my bills, everything else can still come out of our bank account, no problem, and I can still make sure I'm not overspending. So my next tip I have for you guys is check before you buy. Now, I am saying this because I do it for literally everything. And it sounds a little overwhelming at first, but once you are used to doing it, it simply becomes second nature and you don't even think about it. I literally could not think of one thing I would buy that I wouldn't check that I was getting the best deal first. And I will go to the ends of the earth for a good deal. I will use loyalty cards. I will use a discount on buying a gift card so that I can save money on our groceries. I will check every single website before we make a big purchase. Even before we go out to eat on the weekend, if we go out to eat, I will check apps, I will go online, I will look for discount codes, you name it. And almost every single time I find a way to save money. And I get such a dopamine hit from this. It is like a challenge to me. How cheap can I get it? I love how on Amazon you can see if you're getting it at, its higher end price, or maybe this is a really good time to buy something. I cross-check grocery stores every single week to make sure that those items that we love the most, we are getting them while they're on special. I stock up where I can. If there are 2 different grocery stores that I need to go to, they are all really close by for me. So it's really good for me to be able to know that I'm getting a great deal on almost every single item I buy. I also do this for all of our bills. Whether it's our car insurance, our contents insurance, you name it, I will make sure that I double check every year when those times comes around to make sure we're still getting a good deal. If you are buying tickets to anything, hotels, airplanes, shows, you name it, there is probably a discount code out there. There is probably a way to save money. I have often been able to get a group discount. If it's just me and even my best friend going, we usually have more than 10 people, and you won't know unless you ask. But if you can mind the pennies, the pounds will take care of themselves. So every single cent that you save is something you don't have to earn, and you can put that money to things that you really want to do. But when you're going to buy something, make sure you're double checking. This is the cheapest possible price. When you're going to get fuel, make sure you're checking that it's the cheapest price. You might only have to drive 1 block more and save like 20 cents a litre. All of these things over the course of a year add up. So whatever you can do, make sure that you are checking those items before you buy it. From everything to a cup of coffee to a plane fare overseas, it all counts. We have all made bad financial decisions, and if you haven't, you are a much better person than me. But it's totally okay, and it's more important what we decide to do tomorrow than what we did yesterday. So down in those comments, I would love to hear, how have you simplified your finances, or what were some of those big money game changes that helped you to take control of your finances? I can't wait to chat to you down there.